guys, I'm Kyle. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well, staying safe out there. Today is a pretty cool day because May 1st, 2019 was the day that I bought this truck from the dealership. So today is officially 1 year, and it also happens to be 20,000 miles. I just did the 20,000 mile oil change yesterday. So 1 year, 20,000 miles, and I don't know, probably a dozen different off-road trips with the truck. What do I think? This is going to be an update. My last update was at 3 months. I think that was like 5,000 miles. So due for another update. I'm going to give you guys a full walk around of the truck, all of the modifications that I've done. Would I recommend them? Would I not recommend them? And what I think. So let's go. Alright, so first up, we're in the front. Aesthetically, we're still completely stock, no bumper, no tow hook modifications, or that's still the only factory skid plate, the only aluminum skid plate still on this. So wheels, tires, and suspension. Suspension up front, I'm running a 1-inch leveling kit. The spacer itself is actually from Ready Lift because 589 was out of stock when I ordered mine. But I did pair it with the 589 bump stop. My camera's not going to get in there to show you very well. I do have the 589 extended bump stop, so I think that's a good option for getting the extended bump stop on there.
Of course, I couldn't make one video clip and remember everything that I wanted to say about the truck, so wherever I forgot to say something that I wanted to, I'm just going to input some footage from various different trips that I have. So you guys will get to watch the truck and not me. As far as the leveling kit goes, I don't have anything super negative to say about it, but I did shortly after installing it, probably about a month after installing the leveling kit, I did have a CV boot rip on me. It was spewing grease all over the place and had to get that replaced at the dealership. Luckily, they covered it under warranty. They really didn't have to with the leveling kit. But the leveling kit's alright, but if you're concerned about your CV angles, maybe stay away from it. It's not the best for your CV axles.
In the rear, I'm running an Adaleaf from Peak Suspension. I'm pretty happy with the quality. I usually drive around with about 400 pounds in the bed. Spare tire, gas can, we'll get to that later. So driving around with 400 pounds in the bed, I'm pretty happy with the ride quality on the Adaleaf. It is rusting a little bit faster than my stock leaf springs are, so I'm not super happy with the coating that they put on it, but I'm in the salt belt of the Midwest, so we get a lot of rust here. Tires, wheels obviously are the stock ZR2 wheels. Tires are the 285/75/17 from BFG in the KM3. So this is a 33.5 actual measurement. Rounded to a 34 because a lot of people run the 285/70, and that's what everybody references as a 33, which is shy of a 33. So I call these 34s, technically 33.5. And I guess naturally the next thing to talk about is trimming to fit them. As you can see here from the factory, there's about a finger's width of material between the fender and that crease in the body. And I have removed all of that material at the bottom. So about an inch, however much that material is, that's how much metal I cut out of right there. Pushed the fender back, drilled new holes, and cut and bent the tab behind it. And I have plenty of clearance. It's almost tempting to think that I could fit 35s because of how much clearance I have, even with the wheel turned. On the stock wheel, I think the offset helps me a lot. But yeah, no clearance issues with that trimming. In the rear, daily driving, I didn't have any trimming issues, but fully stuffed, it was rubbing right here. You can actually see some of the tire marks on there. So all I did in the rear, I didn't cut any metal, but this plastic, there was a plastic piece behind this one. So this was kind of 2 layers of plastic right here. So I pulled that off. I cut out the plastic piece behind it and screwed it back in. So I made the plastic about half as thick as it was before, and that gives me just enough clearance that when that tire is stuffed up in the wheel well, it doesn't rub. The rock sliders, I think the factory ones would do their job if you needed them, but I saw some videos where people were using the stock rock sliders and they were actually flexing towards the body, and I'm kind of building this thing for Moab, for out west rock crawling adventures, maybe some trails in California, Utah. So I wanted really good protection on the rock sliders, and I went with this from Victory 4x4. I really like it because it is a pretty tall truck and I have a step now, but I also have this super sturdy rock slider that mounts to the body mounts on the, as well as the four, so it mounts to the same 4 locations that the factory rock sliders mount to, and then it mounts to the 2 body mounts as well. So 6 mounts, and you can see those going to the body mounts are really strong pieces of tubing. So I'm really happy with the rock slider upgrade. Moving around to the rear, this is the rear bumper that I built myself in my garage. I don't have a very good machine shop, and I was limited by that. I was only able to use the tools I had available to me, and it's functional. I shouldn't hate on it too much, but I've come to not like it over the months. I think it's very bulky. It doesn't really fit the body lines of the truck when you look at how curved the truck is and how much the bumper sticks out from it. This is one of the angles that I really don't like, is when I see that right there. So I am actually about to use a friend's shop with his help and build a new rear bumper. So that's going to be the next project coming to the truck. I just took this one off and cut the body panels for clearance. So the new bumper is going to be a lot smaller, 4x8 in overall dimension. This one is 9x10. So it's going to be 4 inches wide, not going to stick out much past the tailgate at all, and sit right in that corner. So be a much more slimline, flush fitting bumper, and I'm going to weld the hitch into it, so it won't have this kind of recessed center. It'll just have the hitch welded into it and then the plate offset on the side. Rear bumper, tires, suspension.
So for skid plates, I have the engine, transmission, and transfer case skid plates from 589 Fabrication, and I absolutely love them. They are made out of all 3/16 steel plate, and I am fully confident that I could put a jack stand or a bottle jack under the skid plate and lift the truck up on it. It might bend the skid plate a little bit. I'm not going to do it, but I believe that if I really needed these skid plates to save the transmission or the transfer case on my truck from just being destroyed by a rock, I have full confidence in these skid plates for whatever I throw at them. Here's a clip of me using the skid plates, completely high-centered on the skid plate, and still had enough traction to pull myself off of it, but put a nice big gouge in the skid plate from this one.
My bed setup is finally where I want it to be, with the exception of getting a high lift jack that doesn't suck and covered in rust. So I have the spare tire mount from 589 Fabrication. I've been super happy with that. With the 31-inch tire, it was absolutely great. No complaints at all. With the 34, it blocks quite a bit of my rear visibility. You're kind of seeing what I see from the inside, as I can see about a third of the car that's behind me. So I do still have some visibility. It's not like I've seen some people put a rooftop tent flat on top of the bed, and that would block their entire rear visibility. So it's not that. I still have some visibility out of the rear, but not a lot. That tire blocks most of it. So then I have the 5-gallon gas can from Wavy in USA. And then my toolbox setup, I originally had the swing case, but I kind of had this vision in mind for my bed, and the swing case didn't fit that vision, so the swing case left, and in came the Milwaukee pack-out system. So this works great because they're all modular, they're all stackable. I can stack all 4 of these in one stack, and I could put 3 more over there if I wanted to. I have a receiver bolted on to the top of one of them, and that holds my winch. And I've been pretty happy with this. I haven't had to use it in an actual scenario, just using it to test it out. And this, if some of you guys have noticed, with a keen eye that have been following the channel, is a CB radio that I just installed today. So we're about to jump into the interior, and I'll show you that. But yeah, that's my bed setup, fire extinguisher there, and I'm really happy with my bed setup. That's no complaints there. So on the interior, I have very few modifications. Just have the accessory panels here from Victory 4x4. Just installed these for my CB radio. So this, if you'll notice here, I actually removed the wireless charger, replaced it with just the lower trim level bin. So I'm happy to have an extra storage bin there. And I stole the power wire from the wireless charger to power my CB radio. So the nice thing about this is that, just like the wireless charger, it turns on when the truck turns on, and then it has its own on-off switch, so I can turn it off or turn it on, but it will never be able to accidentally be left on and run the battery on my truck dead, because it's hooked up to the ignition. So if you're not familiar with the ZR2, it does come with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I'm pretty happy with infotainment. This has the Bose sound system. Unfortunately, just like any journalist would tell you, I can't play music because that would be a copyright infringement. But I'm really happy with the infotainment. So there's that. The automatic transmission, some people have had issues with it. I have not had any issues in 20,000 miles of abuse and off-roading. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I think I covered everything. One thing I didn't cover was the gears. I do have a 456 gear ratio in the truck and a trifecta tune. So if you want opinions on those, the trifecta tune is absolutely great. Nothing but great things to say about trifecta tuning. 456, not quite as much. I have a weird thing with my gears. I haven't heard this be a common issue, where they actually kind of make a whining noise. Some people think it's tires because it's similar to a noise that mud tires would make, but it is not my tires. It was not there when I put the tires on before the gears, and it is there now. And it comes and goes. I notice it most under light acceleration, like when my foot just touches the gas pedal, it makes this weird kind of whine noise coming from the gears. I've learned to live with it because I'm not re-gearing my truck to get rid of it. And I'm happy with the power from the 456 gears. I do think it's a bit excessive gearing for the size tire that I'm running. I think 410 would be more than enough for these tires daily driving. The only times that I'm really thinking to myself, like, man, I'm really glad I have 456 gears, is the couple times I've been on an obstacle where I'm just like crawling vertically, and I'm like, man, I'm really happy I have that crawl ratio, because it crawls really well with 33s and 456 gears. So if you're in Moab a lot, if you're rock crawling a lot, and you want the truck to be good at that, get 456 gears. They're great. Lots of power, lots of torque. They will do brake stands if I'm trying to show off. I've done it a couple times now since I got them. Just sitting there burning rubber because they got so much torque, and the engine, like, this truck will actually let you disable traction control enough to let you sit there and spin tires. So that's pretty fun every once in a while, just trying to, not use up my tires in 10,000 miles. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the truck overall. Let me know if you have any questions for me in the comments below. I'll throw a few clips in here, my favorite experiences with the truck so far. I've gotten all 4 tires off the ground jumping it. I've been through some deep mud. I've gotten plenty of use out of the lockers. This is not a mall crawler. This definitely goes out there, gets dirty, and I spend twice as much time cleaning it up. So I hope you like this video. Stay tuned for a full video on the CB radio. That's coming next. I just installed that, so that video will be coming out. And yeah, I hope you guys like it.